So, welcome, Professor Khurana. This geopolitical, economic, techno environment series. I would like to ask you the biggest Taiwan semiconductor manufacturing organization, TSMC, has been given lot of grants by US and they have been called by the US to set up their factory there. So, will they go, or what will be the impact of this on the world as a whole and mainly to the Asian countries?
Thank you. And that helps me to explain also why these words are there. Geopolitical, then economic, then technological.
Right.
Just discussing the semiconductor issue will tell us that all these are important. And one thing affects the other. So if we started, US in a phase of 20, 30 years from 70 onwards was supporting China to become developed, opened their own markets,
Right.
gave them the most favored nation treatment, pushed them into WTO also.
Right.
And WTO, one of the basic principles is that you should have least tariffs. You have tariffs, you remove them, so that free competition is there. Because tariffs create artificial walls and in the end are not useful, right? Because the production becomes more expensive. Government takes the tax, customer pays more.
Exactly.
Now, this is where the issue of semiconductors is there overall. Because semiconductors though lab work has been done in 60s and 70s and so on, they have a set of things which are called nanometers. Smaller the nanometer, the more complex it is because more and more chips are being put on smaller and smaller and smaller surface. So the chips keep on becoming smaller. The number of so-called transistors equivalent keep on becoming more to the extent now there are millions of transistors which are there in a chip.
Right.
Okay, and that chip will do the brain work. Okay, and then chips have gone into our fridges, our washing machines, our watches, drones and planes and ships, and for medical purposes also you plant a chip and correct your blood pressure or whatever it is. So it's a lot of things. And the other thing which happened was that though the design work was there in USA, because the university, especially Stanford University, the persons who were there, professors who were there, they were able to develop this technology, and some of them came out also and set up companies. Intel was one of them. Actually, there was another company, and they broke off from that, and about 8 of them joined Intel. Till today, Intel is the world's leading design semiconductor company. But they don't have any fab of their own. Fab is a fabricating unit. Why? Because fab is basically two things. Lots and lots of labor which can do assembly work and very minute assembly work like jewelers. Okay, because these are very tiny things.
Right.
Now, some of it is done by machine stamping.
Robots.
Not robots, machine stamping. And then you fit things into that. Because they're very, very small, they are not a very good application for robotics. In automobiles, robotics is very good. You're picking something and placing something. These are, like jewelry, as I said.
So fineness is required.
Fineness is required.
Labor work
fineness is required. That kind of patience is required. That kind of precision is required. So that is one about the type of labor. The other is that you have these lithography machines. That actually these circuits are being quote unquote printed digitally on that silicon chip. Nobody makes it with the hand, and every circuit is different. So these are lithographic machines which will be programmed to make this huge circuit diagram. And now there's only one company which makes it.
TSMC.
No. TSMC is an assembler. No, this is a company in Netherlands.
Okay.
And it takes about 2 years to assemble this lithographic machine. There is another company in Japan. And Korean likely to come. And now Chinese unlikely to come. But the monopoly is of the Netherlands company.
Okay.
In a sense, the design monopoly is not there. And these design organizations like Intel, then Micron is also a design institute, design company, they used to have lots of Chinese and lots of Indian Now the Chinese have reduced. Because again, they are the ones who can, concentrate on that work because they've come from home and, happy to be working for Intel. And the local Americans would not like to do that work. Now, slowly, therefore, all the fabrication work and also lithography machines, that's also critical, it went out. And these companies slowly have started going to Taiwan. So Taiwan has become a company within that, TSMC, whose founder also had studied in USA, in Stanford. He's an engineer. Then there is Samsung, which has a semiconductor unit. That is an engineer founder, again studied in USA. Micron is Malhotra, founder, CEO, Indian,
Okay.
and second largest in the world.
So he's Stanford graduate. That's why US is interested, or is it the political or the economic reasons that's why US is interested?
The business interests are very, very
Different.
selfish and killing. These things don't matter. But if the guys are good, what are you going to do? You have no choice. Now this is where we come. Coming to India is so-called this China plus one policy. Second, because this biggest TSMC and lots of other small ones are there in Taiwan. Taiwan is geopolitically a problem also. Because tomorrow if China attacks, your semiconductor supplies are off.
Right.
So they have been wanting to create this. So therefore, two things happened. And now we are coming to the political and legal. That USA gave $20 billion, they call it Chips and Science Act, to actually subsidize, which is against WTO. In that, Intel and Micron has got the maximum money also. This Micron, which is planning to come to Gujarat. And European Union had to do the same. Otherwise, there, whatever little semiconductor fabrication left, that will be gone. USA is giving this lot of money, so maybe the Taiwanese companies will come here, or Korean companies will come here. That's where the problem is. Will they bring that low-level assembly labor with them? USA won't allow. They are saying in the Congress that, so much employment will be generated. Now, they wanted to give free land, just like we. They wanted to give free water because lots and lots of good quality water is required for this. Okay, these machines, lithography machines, everything generate a lot of heat. Everything is so pushed together, So in USA they gave in Arizona huge plot of land. It's desert, by the way. So I laughed to somebody, maybe Rajasthanis can go there and feel happy. And they started building the plant. And then they started looking for labor.
Labor, we could not find good, fine labor in US.
No, they don't want to do this kind of work. They only want to be badshahs. So, and what we did, we tied up with Foxconn and Vedanta. People like us said this combination will not work because Foxconn is not really a semiconductor company. Vedanta, yes, it started with buying Hindustan Zinc plant, public sector plant, etc. They are metal traders basically, but they're quite big. But financially, currently they are in a very bad shape. They owe a lot of money. The liquidity is very poor. So what were they looking at? Just pick up subsidy and run with it?
Run away.
You can't. Not run away, but run with it, meaning make it work. No, but Foxconn needs another technical collaborator. Now that technical collaborator say, what is the financial health of this guy? So this is, Foxconn is actually originally a Taiwanese company, but doesn't matter, they're all Chinese. And then in China. So here technically they are coming via Taiwan in India. They are the largest assembler for Apple. Now you see the technology connection. So they know the assembly of something called smartphone. This is different from a laptop because laptop the parts are somewhat bigger and is very different from chips which are very small. What? So this is where the issue comes of technology. What technology are you talking about? What is Foxconn going to be able to bring?
Hmm.
But since government of India also was saying we will give lots of money, equivalent to $20 billion. So we will give that much money. That much money is not good enough for starting this. Now, who else will come to us? Who else will come to us? There was a lot of fanfare of signing MOUs and all that in USA. But I'm not against our Prime Minister or anybody. What has happened to those MOUs?
Right.
What has happened to them? Drones, no. Jets, no.
Hmm.
Semiconductor company. वो तो मल्होत्रा ने हाँ कर दी और उसने he closed one of his 2 plants there, his company that is. And of course there's a lot of connection in his headquarters in Idaho. You just see mostly Indians, and they have their own cricket teams, not one, more, and play weekend cricket and do bangla or whatever it is. So now we put it together. TSMC therefore is saying, please take your money back. I can't operate here. And they can't say, okay, bring 10,000, 50,000 people. Labor. Now Apple drums up saying, we employ 1 million people in China. But does Apple employ? No, it's the Foxconn and the other assemblers who employ. Apple doesn't employ. Apple employs very little few managers and scientists. So this thing which the governments do about policy, which will generate so much of employment and so on, 10,000 crores of investment. 10,000 crores of investment. What is the local guy going to get? And you put it on machines or you put it on civil infrastructure. That's all.
So, what would you like to say about the recent sanctions on laptop, drone? Are they part of this or
okay?
They're a different
No. It's connected. It's connected. Because it then goes back to your tariffs. It goes back to your argument of protection of your industry, right? And you had this argument when we had socialist era in India, saying infant industry has to be protected. And how do you protect it? By giving it more skilled manpower or giving them incentives for skilling the people or something like that? No. You protect them by putting tariffs on people who bring the things from outside. See, the point there is, basically the government gets revenue, right? And if this guy doesn't have his strength, he's getting a 20% margin here. He is never going to be internationally competitive.
Exactly.
And therefore, he is never going to have volumes.
That was the reason initially China used to keep a very low MRP.
Correct.
Also.
So what? And second, what we've done in India, frankly, because there is no conceptual clarity on this, there is no conceptual background to this. That what is 5% or 500% a protection you want to give, right? What is your concept of how much extra help you want to give? So this has become, frankly speaking, not even an administrative process or a political process. It is a process by which either trade associations or powerful individuals,
they'll be benefited.
They manipulate the policy. They write the policy.
Okay.
And write the policy. Now listen very, very carefully on this. I will not start with the group, but I will just tell, and one can deduce the group. There's something called PTA which is required for polyester fiber. Okay. You closed the import of that on this month. You open it for next month, and then you permanently close it. And you give license to one party. So that party becomes the monopolist of polyester fiber in the country.
Right.
Others can't import it. Forget it.
So something like this will happen in case of these electronic goods?
Not it will happen. It has happened.
It has happened.
It has happened.
Okay.
And this is on and off policy on which you have no control, actually. Supposedly no control. But somebody is orchestrating it. That I get a license and I tie up with 1, 2, 3 companies, which are by the way now known, with 3 companies that other company has tied up with, right? And for how much volume they have tied up. And it is in millions. Now, if one guy is going to import 3 million laptops, right? And then you have now closed it. And now you say today it's open again, but it's open till November. वो नवंबर तक अपनी पूरी सारी सेटिंग कर लेगा, बाकी को आप धक्का लगा दोगे. तो उनको भी तो पता है ना, दो 3 Chinese companies, this big guy has tied up with.
Support.
Tied up with. So, like the other things like 4G, 5G, there's a monopolist then. And in the beginning, as they've done for these things, they can actually give a lower cost product. Since they can give a lower cost product, there are more people who become customers.
Exactly.
From socio-economic point of view, that's good. Otherwise, if it was expensive, like other most things in our country, then few people will take it. Similarly, digital payments, if you had kept a higher fee on this, like credit cards, big advantage is that, credit card wala function uska ho hi raha hai. His transfer is happening free of cost.
Free. That's the reason of the penetration of digital
That's the reason
payments.
of penetration. So this is your pricing theory.
Right.
But you require guts to do it, and you require financial muscle to do it.
Exactly.
Except for Reliance, nobody else would have the muscle to reduce the price and take the risk, and reduce the prices to this level, but the others get killed. And when they start increasing the prices,
that's price leadership.
Not price leadership. No, monopoly.
So that's one, we call it as a theory in oligopoly market.
Yeah.
That through price leadership you try to gain monopoly.
Yes, that's true. But also it is a monopoly.
The bigger fish is eating the smaller.
There is something called monopolistic premium. Right? But thankfully this group has actually expanded the markets and made money that way.
Exactly.
From a larger volume. For the society, it is good. Okay, now let's wind it up on laptops also. So, a few days ago, they said banned imports. Then they said, no, it will be licensed. Now they're saying, no, there is no banning till November. Right? So, now therefore, line up, take the licenses. One guy has already tied up 3 million supply. Baki ko marna.
What will they get even after taking licenses?
What will they get? उसके लाइसेंस की कीमत नहीं है फिर.
Right.
That's all. Now, these are the actions because of which manufacturing, even of electronic products, is not developed in India. We don't have a supporting structure of the components. Okay? So, we bringing a semiconductor plant here, but you don't have components, then all the components are going to be imported.
Exactly.
So what is your value addition then?
Then the prices will go up.
No. What is your value addition?
Assembly.
It is assembly, but now the question comes of the society, work culture, and so on. In the case of China, 1 million people do work for Foxconn. Can you ever imagine that 1 million persons will be working for Foxconn here? Even if they had full opportunities?
No, we won't find that fine or skilled labor. That would be another...
No. Fine. You will not have skilled labor. You have the time. It will take 3 years to set up a plant. You can train them, right? But will they come?
Probably not.
Now, if this project is in Tamil Nadu, do you think people from North India will go there? Girls from North India will go there?
Now I would say that this young generation
assembly
have started...
labor. I'm not talking about engineers.
Labor, yes.
I'm not talking about engineers. Because they cannot reduce those costs of being near the home. Due to which, they can afford to take 10,000-15,000 and be very happy. Because your kharcha is not there. What if you are at a place where all this kharcha is there? So where will they stay? Just like the Chinese in the dormitories? Will the parents send them?
We can, like in case of solar panels, what we are doing, we are going to these villages and the female in the villages itself is working on those glass panels and making
That is
something.
the point. Either you call it jugaad, or you call appropriate technology, or you call it rural technology. The thing is the same. And this is what at least I was instrumental in doing in terms of the transmission of to satellite of education programs, to which I can also briefly come. It's a technological issue. And so we're talking about these solar panels. Before that, let's go to cooler. Room cooler and AC. Which is scientifically better?
Cooler.
Cooler. And cooler can be fabricated wherever. And whatever design you want on it. Right? Therefore, it is a socio-economically that is a better product. But there is there is nobody who has done the patent for it. And no university has done any research on it. Because not worth their while. What is worth their while is air conditioner. But air conditioner is set up here, I think near your room also, and it is cooling inside. And it is heating just outside.
Outside, exactly.
And it is sucking the same hot air. Got it? There is no net cooling in this. Okay, now we come to the dishes. So when we had a problem, I'm talking about the mid-80s, of getting the channels for airtime for education. And Doordarshan had only one channel at that time. That also not full day. So then we were discussing, our top people, chairman officials including secretaries, and I just suddenly said, they said, ये इनको मिल गया education के लिए अगली बारी हम full satellite will give you. अगली बारी तो जो देखेगा कौन देखेगा. So then I said, what about your extended C-band? That's not used. So a couple of the other secretaries said, Khurana, what is this extended C-band? I said, it's like a sort of patri along with the highway. So I said, that patri is not used. आप सब कार वाले हो,
हमें पटरी दे दो.
हमें पटरी दे दो. Zero cost. मेन सड़क है कॉस्ट, उसके ऊपर टोल लगा हुआ है, वो सरकारी है, सरकारी to सरकारी. Okay, then, but now what is the negative of it? Negative is that we need a larger dish.
Exactly.
We need a larger dish, and that's why in all the scientific discussion, managerial discussion and so on, they kept on saying Europe has very small dishes. I said, Europe has very small dishes. But these big dishes are not possible on the houses. No, Europe has houses like this. Okay? Sloping because of snow. We don't have houses like this. We're like this. Our schools are like this. Our colleges are like this. Our commercial buildings are like this. Our government buildings are like this. So what are we talking? What is this going to do? Secondly, दूसरी जो आपकी डिश है उसके लिए सारी की सारी कंपोनेंट्स आप बाहर से मंगवाते हो. Till today they get it from outside, especially the LNBC, low noise local controller, which is the thing like this with every dish. But this one will only need LNBC from abroad, but we'll get it made here because we will be doing it in larger quantity at that time. So those dishes were installed in schools and colleges. First class. Not only many years it continued, it's continuing till today. Because this is a dedicated channel which IGNOU has got. Dedicated. Plus they've got other things also now, digital and all that. Not only that, it traveled to Africa. Same problem was there, the satellites were there doing communication and all that in large companies and all that. But there's nothing for education and health. So for education and health, this became the only channel, only bandwidth rather, extended C-band. So now therefore this is question of how technology adjusts. If you're going to use your Indian Jugadu style. So our dishes used to go on a bullock cart also.
Cycle.
Cycle तो ये बड़ी dish है, तो cycle में तो rocket जाते थे. So
today we talked more about technological environment and how Indian Jugaad can help us to foster the technological environment in India. So we'll continue with the geopolitical and other issues later on. So here we end today's episode, and we'll come back with other issues related to BRICS, related to credit ratings, and so many other issues. We'll talk later.
Thank you very much, and I am glad that technology has taken preference today and not politics.
Yes.